Imagine sitting at a restaurant table. In front of you is a basket of hot wings, drenched in a deep red, glistening chili sauce. You take a bite. Within seconds, your mouth catches fire. Sweat breaks out on your forehead. Tears stream down your face. Your nose starts running, and you gasp for air as if you've swallowed a burning ember. Your heart pounds, your body is screaming in agony, and every survival instinct in your biological blueprint is telling you one thing: stop eating this immediately! And yet, you take another bite. You smile through the tears, wipe your brow, and reach for a third wing. If any alien biologist were observing Earth right now, they would be utterly baffled. Every other mammal on this planet, from wolves to monkeys, from mice to elephants, will avoid spicy plants at all costs. If a dog accidentally bites into a habanero pepper, it will yelp, spit it out, and never touch it again. Capsaicin, the chemical compound that makes peppers spicy, is an evolutionary poison. It was engineered by nature over millions of years with a single brutal objective: to inflict pain and discourage animals from eating the plant's fruit. Yet humans are the only species on Earth that not only overcome this biological barrier, but actually pay money to suffer. We put chili on our pizza, invent sauces named Megadeath, and hold competitions to see who can eat the most painful pepper without passing out. Why do we do this? How did a plant's chemical weapon become one of humanity's most beloved global addictions? The answer is a mind-bending story of evolutionary warfare, ancient food preservation, and a bizarre quirk of human neurobiology that turns physical agony into pure pleasure. To understand why your mouth burns, we first have to look at the secret evolutionary war between plants and animals. Millions of years ago, wild pepper plants faced a major ecological dilemma. They needed a way to reproduce and spread their seeds across large distances. To do this, they grew sweet, fleshy fruits that attracted animals. However, not all animals are created equal. When a mammal, like a rodent or a primitive ape, eats a pepper fruit, its flat molars crush and grind the seeds into useless dust, destroying the plant's offspring before they can ever grow. Furthermore, a mammal's digestive system breaks down seeds completely. If a mammal eats a pepper, the seeds die in its stomach. Birds, on the other hand, are the ideal seed dispersers. Birds do not have teeth, so they swallow small pepper fruits whole without crushing the seeds. Even better, birds fly vast distances before defecating, dropping intact pepper seeds miles away in fertile soil along with a fresh dose of fertilizer. So, the pepper plant evolved a brilliant defense strategy: create a chemical that tortures mammals while leaving birds completely unharmed. That chemical is capsaicin. Birds lack the specific nerve receptor that detects capsaicin, so to a parrot or a crow, a flaming hot ghost pepper tastes no different than a sweet red bell pepper. But for mammals, capsaicin triggers an absolute biological nightmare. And here is the ultimate plot twist: capsaicin doesn't actually burn you at all. If you touch a hot stove, thermal energy physically damages your tissue, blistering your skin and destroying cells. But when capsaicin touches your tongue, there is zero physical damage. No chemical burns, no tissue destruction, no real heat. Instead, capsaicin is a molecular imposter. It selectively targets a specific nerve receptor on your sensory neurons called TRPV1. The TRPV1 receptor is your body's internal fire alarm. Its job is to detect high physical temperatures, specifically anything above 43 degrees Celsius, or 109 degrees Fahrenheit. When you drink scalding hot coffee or touch boiling water, TRPV1 receptors instantly send an emergency electrical signal to your brain. Danger! High heat! Retract immediately! Capsaicin has a chemical shape that fits perfectly into the TRPV1 receptor like a key into a lock. When capsaicin binds to TRPV1, it tricks the receptor into opening at normal room temperature. Your tongue might be at 37 degrees Celsius, but your brain receives a frantic message that your mouth is literally ablaze at 50 degrees Celsius. Your brain cannot tell the difference between actual heat and capsaicin. It believes your mouth is on fire. In response, your autonomic nervous system triggers a full-blown emergency defense protocol. Your brain sends signals to open sweat glands to cool down your body. It dilates blood vessels, turning your face red. It produces tears and mucus to flush out the corrosive toxin. It speeds up your heart rate and forces rapid breathing to vent the imaginary heat. Your body is going through the exact same physiological panic as if you were trapped in a burning building. So if capsaicin tricks our brain into believing we are being burned alive, how on earth did ancient humans start eating it in the first place? To solve this mystery, we have to look at ancient history and food preservation. Before refrigerators, supermarkets, and chemical preservatives existed, eating meat was a dangerous game of Russian roulette. In warm climates, raw meat and cooked food spoil rapidly, becoming breeding grounds for deadly foodborne bacteria like Salmonella, E. coli, and Listeria. For hundreds of thousands of years, food poisoning was one of the leading causes of death for human tribes. Then, around 10,000 years ago, early agriculturalists in South and Central America noticed something remarkable about wild chili peppers. When crushed pepper seeds were added to raw meat or stews, the food stayed fresh much longer without spoiling. In 1998, evolutionary biologists Jennifer Billing and Paul Sherman at Cornell University conducted a groundbreaking study. They analyzed over 4,500 traditional meat recipes from 36 countries across the globe. Their findings revealed a shocking pattern. In cold countries like Norway, Sweden, and Finland, traditional recipes use almost no spicy ingredients, just salt and black pepper. But in hot, tropical countries like Mexico, India, Thailand, and Nigeria, virtually every single meat recipe calls for heavy amounts of hot peppers, garlic, and spices. Why? Because capsaicin is a powerful natural antibiotic and antifungal agent. Laboratory tests show that capsaicin can kill or inhibit up to 75 to 100% of foodborne bacteria. In hot climates where meat rots within hours, adding hot peppers wasn't a culinary preference, it was a life-saving medical necessity. Ancestral humans who ate spicy food were significantly less likely to die from bacterial infections and dysentery. Over generations, natural selection favored humans who developed a tolerance and a taste for spicy food. The pain of the pepper was a small price to pay for surviving the meal. In 1912, American chemist Wilbur Scoville developed the Scoville organoleptic test to measure the heat of different peppers, giving us a scale from 0 Scoville heat units for bell peppers to over 2 million for the Carolina Reaper. But while science explained how spice saved our ancestors, it didn't fully explain why modern humans enjoy the agony. Why do we crave spicy food today, even when our food comes safely out of a sterile refrigerator? The answer lies in a fascinating psychological phenomenon discovered by Dr. Paul Rozin, a professor of psychology at the University of Pennsylvania. Dr. Rozin coined the term benign masochism. When your brain receives the alarm from your TRPV1 receptors that your mouth is on fire, it panics and triggers a fight or flight response. Your adrenal glands pump adrenaline into your bloodstream, sharpening your senses and heightening your awareness. To cope with what it believes is severe pain, your brain releases a flood of endorphins, your body's natural opioids and painkillers, along with dopamine, the pleasure and reward neurotransmitter. However, within a few seconds, your cognitive brain, the cerebral cortex, analyzes the situation and realizes a crucial fact. Wait, my mouth feels like it's burning, but I'm actually completely safe. There is no real tissue damage. I am not actually dying. This creates a unique psychological thrill. Your body experiences the visceral adrenaline rush of life-threatening danger, but your mind knows there is zero actual risk. When the initial shock passes, you are left with the massive flood of endorphins and dopamine that your brain released to fight the pain. You experience a natural chemical high. This is the exact same reason why humans love riding terrifying roller coasters, jumping out of airplanes with parachutes, or watching horror movies in a dark theater. It is the joy of experiencing fear and pain without the actual threat of harm. Spicy food is, quite literally, a roller coaster for your tongue. Human beings are the only creatures on Earth capable of this level of cognitive abstraction. We are the only species that can use our mind to override our basic animal instincts, transforming a plant's poison into a source of thrill and joy. So, the next time you bite into a spicy taco or splash hot sauce over your meal, take a moment to appreciate what is happening inside your body. You are participating in an ancient biological dance. You are defying millions of years of plant evolution, honoring the survival tactics of your ancestors, and hacking your own brain's pleasure centers with a harmless lie. The plant tried to scare you away, but human curiosity won the war. Why do we love spicy food? Because we are the only species on Earth brave enough and crazy enough to play with fire.